All right, just thought I'd go through a couple of quick housekeeping items for Lecture 7. Here is the attendant or the announcements for today's lecture. So again, attendance is up to date, and everything other than the assignment from last week's been graded. For last week's assignment, the goal is to have that graded by Monday. And the assignment for this week will close Monday, February 10th at 5 p.m. Again, from here on out, the assignments will close Monday at 5 p.m. Unless otherwise noted. There might be one or two that doesn't. Like our hand sketching exercise is supposed to be a little bit later in the semester. Again, if anybody needs, we're going to have the help session from 11 to 1 in room 3235 of the engineering building. I thought what I would do is go through some common Q&A from our in-class exercise today, just to go through some of the common questions that students had as they were working on the exercise for this week. Here's the exercise. I can really only think of two questions that were really common during the lecture. The first was, I think, what probably everybody could guess was related to was the arcs. So I just want to mention with the arcs that, again, there are a number of ways to draw arcs in AutoCAD. I'll say this. Next week, we're going to learn about edits and modifications and things like fillets and whatnot. And so I'm going to sort of not say much about that now, other than to say when we start doing fillets, you'll see that there are a number of easier ways to do most arcs in engineering schematics. Fillets won't really work for images like this, though. And I'm really a big fan of drawing arcs like this, starting at the center, okay? So remember, if you go here to the arc command, there are a number of different ways of doing it, okay? And the big thing to keep in mind is, you know, when you look at the different ways, for example, start, end, radius, for example. If we do start, end, radius, we could do start, end with a radius of 2. Well, that's actually probably not going to work. Let's do a radius of, I don't know, like that. That's how it works from an input standpoint. Let me turn object snap on to clarify. And by the way, just again, this is another thing that I think the class as a whole might still be struggling with a little bit. So let me drag this out of the camera view so that we can all kind of see what's going on. Again, so first off, this button right here, this is how you turn object snap on and off. So for example, if you've got a series of lines, for example, and you want to draw a line and you're annoyed that it keeps wanting to snap to some endpoints, you can turn object snap off, and then when you draw, it shouldn't do that. Let's try this again. Let's do a line. And then now notice how it's not doing that, okay? And again, this option right here, that object snap, that's how it's doing that. When you have this feature turned on, it will attract to the objects in the drawing. And then again, another thing that I think is worth mentioning is grid snap, okay? There's still a lot of students that aren't using grid snap. So for example, on this exercise or this assignment, a grid snap of 0.25 was recommended. Also, I should have turned it on. This is where you turn it on. By the way, you can also turn grid snap on and off by just clicking this right here. But grid snap is really where you're going to see some power in the creation of your drawing. So for example, let's draw a rectangle 0, 0, and then 17 tab 11. So we'll now bring that into view. And so now that I have grid snap on, this is more reflective of your drawing on this assignment. Okay, so again, there's a number of, so going back to arcs, there's a number of different ways of drawing arcs. I'm a really big fan of starting with the center. So for example, a lot of what I showed students in class is center, start, end. So center, start, end. You know, you click the center first. So the center is where the arc originates, the circle that it subtends, then start, and then end, okay? Again, when you're drawing an arc, so for example, center, start, like this, you can hold, so watch what happens. You can hold the control button and go the other way, okay? So you can draw a clockwise arc with the control button or a counterclockwise arc without the control button, okay? So for example, for some of those lower arcs, what we can do is center, start, end, okay? And how am I getting it exactly at the right point with exactly the right radius? That's where grid snap comes in. That's where me turning this feature right here on and off, that's where that comes into play. So definitely using that will make the construction of the drawing a lot easier. Now, the other thing that I thought was noteworthy, and I'm just going to put a little rectangle here. Let's just put one right here, is for hatches, okay? So in order to demonstrate this, let me create a hatch layer. Let's see, let's create a hatch layer. And I think on this assignment, yeah, it was green, so we'll make it green. You can just type green and press enter. Okay, so we have a hatch layer. It's really easy to not draw that on the correct layer, but I'm going to go through the hatch command in general. So again, to create a hatch, there's a couple of different ways of doing it. We can just click the hatch button right here. We can type hatch and press enter, or we can type the letter H and press enter. Okay. So drawing a hatch, we can put the hatch, let's say right here, but then if you look at the assignment, there are different patterns that were being used. We can change the pattern right here. So if you drop this list down, there are several different options to choose from. For example, let's do the earth hatch. Okay, so there's the earth hatch, and you can see now the pattern has changed. This is where you can change the scale. So we can change the scale to, I don't know, 0.6. And we can see that that's changed. By the way, the hatch will, like if you put your cursor here, it'll automatically want to put the hatch there, but it won't place the hatch there until you click. So if you move your cursor away, it'll be fine. Then we click close, or we press enter. You can either close or press enter. And then you've drawn the hatch and you go, uh-oh, the hatch is on the wrong layer. So you can click the hatch, go back to the home tab, and then just change the layer and hit escape. So pretty straightforward to change hatch layers, or you can delete it, change the layer and start. Either way is fine. Those are really the two most common questions that I got during the lecture. Beyond that, it seemed everybody was on the same, was moving forward with the assignment. The other thing I would mention is really just make sure that you're reading the plans. This assignment probably seems a little frustrating that you have to flip back and forth to get dimensions from different pages, but that's just kind of how it is with engineering schematics in general. And so there aren't very many pages to flip through, but trust me, in real world projects, there can just be a lot more. So I'm trying to get you familiar with that here on this assignment. But that's all I have for this recording. Again, we'll have our Friday help session if you have any more questions, but if not, I will see you on Monday.